Today I want to talk to you about my top 5 grinding locations in Wrath of the Lich King Classic. All of these will yield, depending on your class, between 400,000 and 600,000 XP per hour. Some of you might do more than that because some of these spots definitely have got the potential for more than that because it's non-stop mob grinding. But of course, some of you might do less depending on what you are. I'm doing this as a feral druid and I can just comfortably run round an AoE non-stop with practically no downtime. So between 5 to 600,000 is comfortable. But a big one is the very final spot. Don't cheat and skip ahead. Stay till the end. But the final one in this list, which isn't being shown on screen, will not only give you massive amounts of XP, but you will also get massive amounts of gold. I've got to be honest, I've never seen such an easy gold farm, and I mean raw gold. It's not items that drop, it's just raw gold from mobs. As I say, at the same time as getting loads and loads of XP. So let's go straight in with number 1. This one may be fairly well known, but in Dragonblight there's the Onslaught base camp. Looking on the map, it's just northwest of Nax, but it's practically just right outside of Nax, and there's loads of camps of Scarlet guys that you can just run around an AoE. Now there's a few things you need to look out for, mainly just Sunder armor that's going to get stacked up on you depending on how many you pull, and they also throw dirt in your eyes which reduces your hit chance by 30%, so you want to watch out for that. But basically, if you've got the capability to just run around continuously grinding with no downtime, you can just run from camp to camp. I did actually grind pretty much a full level out here between level 72 and 73. I'm currently 79 on this druid, but this is purely demonstration purposes and you do not need to be this high. So the amount of XP you'll get a kill if you're doing it at the appropriate level, which should be 71 to 72, I would say is actually the right time to be here. You can get really good XP. And remember, if you're doing the 70 to 71 sort of pre-patch hand-in route, so you're 71 on the day of launch, then you can literally ding 71 from handing all your TBC quests in, head straight over here and start grinding, assuming there's no one else here. And that's what you've got to remember about these spots that we're talking about today. Some of them will be camped, some of them will be known. All of them will be known to people who see this video. But the point is, these spots are going to be here forever. So whilst you might not be able to use them very efficiently at launch when you level an ult or anything like that, they'll eventually not be farmed all the time. Even if you was a little bit late to launch and it was a couple of weeks after or something like that because you was on holiday, then all of these spots are absolutely viable. The only one I think that's going to be heavily farmed is the last one that I've teased already, and we'll get to why soon. The second one is also in Dragonblight, just outside Wintergarde Keep. So we're looking for the mausoleum. There is 2 entrances into it, but the entrance that I go into is around where you can see my character now. But this is the entrance that I go into, so the Wintergarde mausoleum. Now you can absolutely grind on all the mobs down through to the part that we actually want to get to. Ignore the left and right side when you run in because these mobs do not give XP. But if you look at where I am on the map, this is basically where you want to get to. You want to run through this room to get to the tunnels, but all of these mobs spawn really fast. So on the right hand side here, on the left hand side here, you can absolutely just go between room to room, just AoE in all of these mobs down. But they are quite annoying because they've got like a chain effect that pulls you in, as well as some other things that are really annoying, like the shade sort of teleports here. But you could AoE your way through here until you get to where we want to be, which is at the back of the room here, there's a tunnel. Now, if you're questing around this area, you'll know that you come and speak to Plunderbeard to actually do a quest chain. But ignore that and run straight through the tunnel till you get out the other side, and you will be greeted by tons of mobs. Now, these all spawn really, really fast. You can basically clear one room out, then we're going to go into the next room and you can clear that room out. As I say, for me, as a feral druid, I don't really need to stop here at all. I just use cooldowns when needs be. But you can literally just AoE all of these mobs down, move into the next room, continue to AoE, and just literally never stop killing. Unless you need some mana or something like that, and then you might need a bit of downtime. But I've seen Protection Paladins farming in here. I've seen Frost Mages farming in here. And as I say, as a feral druid, you might not think of feral druids particularly strong at AoE farming, but as you can see, it's actually very, very comfortable. And I do both rooms at the same time. I practically never stop. I just pull pack after pack and just keep running around, and it's continuous XP. As I say, I probably get about 600, maybe even up to 650k in here at level 72. But you've got to remember, my druid's got reasonably decent gear. So, on a fresh server or something like that, where you're just in greens and stuff, it might be a bit more difficult. But I genuinely think it's doable by any class that's got a bit of AoE. Just running around, gathering all these up and absolutely owning them all is the way to go. A prop paladin really is the one that I would say is really strong here because they are all undead. My next one would be at Thor Modan. Now, this is in Grizzly Hills. This is not as good as the previous location in the fact that the mobs are not spawning continuously and there is a bit of travel time between packs. But actually running inside Thor Modan and killing everything like I am here. I literally run from one end all the way to the other end, and it's probably about 20 mobs in total that you're actually going to kill on one circle around this sort of broken temple-like thing. But the XP is really good, and they're humanoids, so they drop decent amounts of cloth and things like that if you're wanting to get some good loot and good gold per hour at the same time as farming. As you can see, watch out for the threshers, because if you try and pull them, they don't actually come outside of the water, so you would need to go into the water to kill those. I just wanted to demonstrate there by fairy firing it that you can see you can't get any additional mobs if you're up on top of the platform around here. You just want to kill all the iron dwarves. Another thing to note is you'll see the blue circles on the floor. Now, if you stand in those when you're ready to do sort of your kill phase, you also get extra damage. So if you was to run round, gather everything into one spot instead of doing what I'm doing here and AoEing, you could make really good use of the runes that are on the floor, just to increase your damage and get your kill time even quicker. Once you've run inside a 4 modan and cleared that out, what I do is actually just go outside, grab all the golems, grab anything I can, just to give it a little bit of time for everything inside to respawn. So grabbing all of these golems and then heading over to this building is definitely worthwhile, because it's got 3 mobs in a really small area. So you can grab everything outside and grab the 3 mobs inside. Job's a good one. AoE all these down, then it will give you enough time for all the inside mobs, like you can see here, to start respawning, and then rinse and repeat, clearing all the inside out, going back out, clearing all the outside out. The next spot I really like is just west of the Shadow Vault, and this is in Icecrown. Now, you've got tons of dueling mobs. These do hit quite hard, and you're probably not going to want to do this until about 77, 78, I would say, because some of these mobs are actually 80. But the level 80 mobs give over 1,000 XP, even to me at level 79, and you still get over 900 a kill for the level 79s as well. They've got a bit of an annoying knockback, but you can see the sheer amount of mobs there are, the density is really high, and they respawn really quick. So you can just run around this circle, grabbing as many as you can physically handle. I mean, I can handle quite a lot as a feral druid, so you might only be doing 5 or 6 at a time, in which case, by the time you've done the full circuit and you get round to the beginning again, the beginning ones have probably respawned. If, however, your kill times are quite high, like you can see, this is the last mob of the ones that was already there. I've still got 3 mobs now that have respawned. You could go up here in towards Jotunheim and kill any mobs that you want, just to give time for the other ones to all respawn. Me personally, I would just go back, pick the mobs up, and just keep tagging them as they're spawning. So at this point, it's more or less 0 downtime. Every time one spawns, you'll run over, you'll grab it, gradually start building up a little pack again, and you'd never need to move from this small circle. So this has got a potential to be really, really big XP an hour, obviously, because you do not need to move outside of this circle, and they're all 79 and 80 level mobs that you're actually killing. I'm going to throw this one in as a bonus because I actually really, really like it, but the XP an hour might not be that great. It's not even one that I've timed, but it is one that I've spent quite a bit of time in this morning just getting myself to level 79. But it's in the Forlorn mine, which is the mine that connects Brunhildar village to the village just to the west of it. Now, all of these vrykels are yellow, so they're not hostile, so you can get as many mobs as you want without the risk of pulling extras. But they die pretty quick, and they even stun themselves at times if they're exhausted, so you don't actually take that much damage. But in each of the little alcoves where the mines are, you can literally just run between them. You can go between each alcove. Sorry, Snacky wants to do a heroic. And you can just continuously pull as many as you want, and you can run all the way round up the top, and then you can grab more. And there's also a little section where you can drop down, so you can actually clear all the top sections, then drop down to get all the bottom sections and drag those all up to the top, and then keep dropping down. You'll see what I mean if you actually go and try it, but it's a solid place to farm. I would guess, as I say, I didn't time this one, I'm just throwing it in as a little extra because I did spend a bit of time there. I'd say you'll easily get 500k an hour, minimum. But don't shoot me, because that is just a guess, but I felt like I was never stopping killing. And now for the big one. Drum roll, please. No? All right. This is at the Fleshworks, which is in Icecrown, which is located here on the map. Now, there's one thing you need to bear in mind. There is a quest chain which will cause this to phase. So if you complete the quest chain around the Fleshworks, all of these mobs will disappear. That's probably a good idea not to complete that quest too soon, at least. So these risen soldiers, they only give 300 XP at level 79, but they've got no health. You can near enough one-shot them. Really, they take no effort at killing whatsoever, but there is never a time where there's nothing to kill. And as soon as you actually get here, all of these are spawned. So you'll kill about 30 to probably 35 mobs all in one go. But you can see how many mobs are dead on the floor. It's literally non-stop slaughter. But The XP is good, it's decent, you know, getting 300 a kill is still alright when you're killing so many so easily, and there is a summoner that you kill as well, which gives full XP, as in over 1,000 each time it spawns. But the quicker you kill, the quicker these spawn. Now, I could probably do this quicker just running around in cat and swiping because, as I say, you kill one, another 2 pop up, or you kill 2, another 3 pop up, another 4 pop up, whatever. There's always mobs to kill. You'll never be stood here without something to do. But it's not just that. When I loot all these, look at the amount of silver they drop. 25, 26, 28. You can see there 61, 68, 70. You know, 61 silver per mob when you're killing so many. The actual amount of raw silver that these drop is absolutely mental. You could probably comfortably make a couple of 100 gold an hour just while you're actually getting really, really good XP. And as I say, if you want something mindless, because this really requires no effort, if you want to sit and watch Netflix whilst just running around spamming one button, some form of AoE, whether it's swipe, arcane explosion, I don't know, whatever you've got, you literally could. You don't need to focus. These don't do any damage, so you can just run around continuously getting streams of 300 XP a time. And as I say, even if you do single target, the quicker you kill them, the quicker they'll spawn, because there will always be something to kill. So it's just a ridiculous amount of XP, but a ridiculous amount of gold as well. Now, I probably will time this place. Once I get my next character to about 77, I'll probably go over here and time it properly. But, as I say, this particular location is not all about the XP, even though it's good. It's about that raw gold. So these are my top 5 locations, even though I've given you 6, of where to farm for not just XP, but gold as well. And these are all tried and tested by me, and they are really, really good XP. It's now just whether you can get them on your own, or get ahead of the curve so you're the only one here. Like and subscribe. Roll the outro. There's lots of ways you can support the channel to keep me here putting out World of Warcraft content and covering all future MMOs. Consider joining the channel as a member. You get access to emotes, everyone will know you're a member when you comment on future videos because you get a nice icon next to your name, and you get access to members only videos, which I'll be putting a lot of on the channel throughout the year. Additionally, there's a Patreon link in the description as well. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you on the next one.